So debt is one of the easiest things to get into and one of the hardest things to get out of. What's up, y'all? James Huntley, personal mentor, as well as a civil engineer. And in this video, I want to talk to you all and give you some tips on how you can get out of bad debt. I want to share some things that is really going to help you out and help you be better financially with some of the decisions that you make. So, hope you're ready to learn something. I'm ready to share some information that I got and that I've done some research on. So let's get right. So welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, what's up? My name is James Huntley, as I said before. But before I get into my content, I have to do one special thing, something I do on every single one of my videos, and that's show you all some love. So bring it in, come here, step down and give y'all a hug. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Gotta show y'all some love. Gotta show y'all some love. We're on this channel, we go over financial literacy, some professional development, personal development, and some things that's going to help you grow each and every single day. So this sounds like something that you want to be a part of, the J_Get_Right community. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so that you know when I post, where I post, and so that we can grow together. All right, so what is bad debt? And yes, if you didn't know, there is a difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is when you borrow money to purchase something that is not going to generate you any more money. It's going to pretty much depreciate over time. And this is what is called a liability. It's when you purchase something and it costs you money. It can cost you money and you're not going to get anything back. So some examples of bad debt is when you use a credit card that has a high interest rate, and even if the interest rate is low, this is still an example of bad debt. You use a credit card to purchase clothes, some clothes that you don't need, and so once you purchase those clothes, you didn't have the money up front to actually, buy these clothes, and so now you're in debt for some clothes. Now, what can these clothes do for you? The clothes are going to look good. They're going to look good. But you know what? You're probably going to get tired of those clothes and going to want to buy more nice clothes if you're buying these because you just want them and you're not buying them because you need them. So, another example would be purchasing a brand new car. And you don't need a brand new car. You could buy, a regular, small, affordable car. But you decide to go out and buy a brand new car, and it's something that you cannot afford, or that is not in your budget. So you borrow all this money to purchase a car. You're not going to rent out that car. You're not going to use it to bring you in money. You're just going to use it to drive around, look good, and now owe the banks or whoever you borrowed money from interest because you decided to buy this big, bad, this tough car. So those are examples of how you can get into bad debt. So the first thing that you're going to want to do to actually get out of bad debt is to determine all of your debt. If you have a lot of bad debt, then you need to know the amount of debt that you actually owe. And I'm not talking about a rough estimate. I want you to track down every single bit of your debt. And not only do I want you to know every single bit of your debt, but I also want you to know the interest rates that are applied to those different types of debt. So if you have a credit card, that credit card has some interest that is with it. So if you used a credit card, you went out and bought some new Jordans, you went out and took a nice vacation, and your credit card has something that has a % APR. And so what happens is over time, you owe a certain amount of money for what you purchase, but not only do you owe what you purchase, but over time, however long it takes you to pay that money back, they charge a fee, right? And that is what the interest is. They are charging a fee for you to have borrowed that money. So over time, it just keeps increasing. And the bigger amount of money that you borrow, the more extra little interest applies. So that's how credit works. That's how you can get into some serious bad debt. The higher those interest rates are, the more that you're gonna have to pay. And some people aren't even able to pay back what they borrowed. So you can't pay back what you borrowed, and then you can't pay the extra fee that they're charging you to have borrowed that money, then you are in a very bad situation. So you want to be able to track every single amount of debt that you have and track those interest rates. The second tip to getting out of bad debt is to stop buying liabilities. Please stop buying liabilities. There's a thing called liabilities, which I explained earlier, when you are purchasing things that are not bringing you back any type of income. And then there are assets. And so I've made a video on assets versus liabilities, but I will quickly explain what an asset is. An asset is when you purchase something and it is actually able to generate you some money back. And so you can get assets through, digital assets. You can invest your money, and those are different types of assets. You can get into real estate. That is an asset. You have different skills, and you purchase, if you're a photographer, you purchase a camera and you're actually using it and it's generating you some income. That's an asset. Like, there's so many different types of assets, but we need you. We're gonna focus on this one thing. I went off on a tangent. We're gonna focus on this one thing. Stop buying liabilities. And so if you struggle with, being in the moment, purchasing things that you don't need because you're having a good time, for example, if you love to go out to the club, right? You're with your boys, you're with your girls, whoever you're with, and y'all are having a great time, and you're in such a good mood that you just decide to get people drinks and just go all out each and every single weekend. And you're just putting it on your credit card. These are liabilities. You're not having self-control. You're getting in more and more debt. And so if you don't have that self-control and you just buy off of impulse and you struggle with that, then I want you guys to please check out the video I've made on how you can stop impulsively spending. But if that's not you, you don't have to worry about that. You just got to stop buying liabilities, stop purchasing things that don't actually bring you in some money. If you want to purchase things, purchase you some assets that are going to pay eventually for your liabilities. Tip number 3 to getting you out of bad debt. That's going to be focusing on one portion of your debt at a time. And so this goes back to my initial pretty much statement that I said that you need to track all of your debt and you need to know all of the interest rates. So you can go about it however you want, but if you are trying to pay off, the highest interest rate so that over time you're not paying back a ton of money just in credit card fees or bank fees or loan fees, then you know where to attack and you know where to start putting more of your money, right, to pay off those loans. But if you don't have a clue, then you're pretty much screwed. So you want to focus on one debt at a time. Start building some momentum. It's like the snowball effect. Pay off one. Slowly pay off that one, right? You focus your energy on that one. Get it knocked out. Find out some ways to generate some extra income and put it to those credit cards, put it to those loans, and get them paid off, right? Get that one specific one that you focus on paid off. Now, what I'm not saying is not to pay your other, I'm not saying not to pay whatever debt you have they're going to have, a time limit. You're going to have to pay them once a month. So whatever you got to pay that minimum payment, but focus on one. And once you get one knocked out, then you can get two knocked out. And then once you get two knocked out, you can get three knocked out. And before you know it, you stop buying liabilities and you focus your money. It works the same way. The same way the loan and the banks and the credit card companies are generating money from you over time. The same way works the other way around. Over time, you can gain the advantage. Where you go wrong is, or where you can go wrong is if you continue to buy liabilities. It's literally a game, right? It's a game. If you keep buying liabilities, you never are in a situation where you can start paying off some of the liabilities. And so it's this trending cycle, right? And you're getting further and further and further and further in debt, in bad debt. And so this is not it's not a position that you want to be in. So from my experience, I don't have too much experience, but I have, when I got out of college, I decided to purchase a liability. Now, did I get a brand new car? No, but I got about a $10,000 Ford Mustang, and pretty much I didn't have the money up front, so I had to take out a loan on it. So I focused, that was pretty much my only debt, so I focused in on it, and any extra money you get, make sure you put it towards that. We are in a pandemic, and I know a lot of people have lost jobs, but if you could put that money, and pay it down. We got, I think it was 2 to 3 stimulus checks. If you were able to keep your job, why not put that money towards some of the debt, or to invest it in some assets to where it'll pay for those liabilities long term. But if you're not thinking like that, then this is where you can go wrong. So you want to make sure that you are focusing in on those that one type of debt or that one loan, paying it off, get the snowball effect rolling, and pretty soon you can get yourself in a better situation to be out of debt. Now, I do know that this is a lot of information and it's taking me a while to explain. So in the comment section down below, comment get right if this information is actually helping you all, as well as if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, be sure to leave those and I will be sure to quickly answer them. And I want to make sure that my content is actually good and is helping you. So it's going to be an evaluation for me. So make sure you leave those in the comment section down below. And I kind of mentioned this before, but my tip number 4 to you is to find ways to make more money. It can be something as simple as, finding a side job, a side hustle, being able to just bring in an extra $100 a week, $200 a week. That can go a long way on a loan or a credit card or wherever your debt is coming from. Like, you can put that towards it, and over time it'll build up. You'll be able to, make double payments on something, or contribute and pay some debt down. The more money that you can bring in, the more money that you can pay off some of this bad debt that you're trying to get rid of. And the last tip that I have for you to be able to get out of bad debt is going to be to consolidate your debt at a lower interest rate. And so I'm using a bunch of words that simply mean combine every bit of debt that you have and get it to be a lower interest rate. So that means lower fees. There's lower amounts of charges that you'll have. Everything is put into one payment of debt and one balance, and so then you just make one payment and you're able to pay that big amount of debt that you have off. And so this is why my point number 1 is still very crucial, because if you don't have a clue of your interest rates and you don't have a clue of the exact amount of debt that you owe, you can't even consolidate everything or combine everything, because you're not even going to be able to tell the company that you're trying to get a loan for to consolidate or combine everything the amount that you owe. So they're not even going to be able to put your application in. So you want to make sure that you know how much you owe and the interest rates on them, and then find a company that allows for you to consolidate all of your debt, or put the majority of your debt into one big pile at a lower interest rate than what you currently pay. Typical interest rates seem to be around 7 to 26%. 26% being on the high side. So you just want to get everything lower, right? Think lower. So lower interest rates, lower bad debt. We want to make everything lower our debt balance, right? So that's what you need to have in mind when you are consolidating your debt. And hey, listen, these are only 5 tips that I've given you to help you get out of bad debt. But you know what you can do? You can listen to me blab about how to get out of bad debt. You can read all the articles in the world, and if you actually don't say in your head that you're going to make a decision today to stop buying liabilities, you're going to sacrifice and actually pay down these debts, then it'll never happen. So I want to make sure you know this isn't going to be easy. It's never easy. A challenge, or something that you're trying to do when you're in a tough situation, is never going to be easy. The process is not going to be easy. But if you have the mental frame of mind to be able to do it, you set goals, and you follow tips and strategies to be able to do it, you can work your way to actually getting out of this bad debt. So I am going to help you all out and try to make sure I put some extra educational resources, some extra links down in the description bar, so that you have some extra tips that you can use in order to help you get out of this bad debt. But again, it's up to you. So I'm going to be cheering you on. It's very exciting to see people actually get out of bad debt, to actually start buying assets. And our money can go only as far as we allow it to take us. So if you get in your mindset that you're going to find a way to make more money, that you're going to be more disciplined, have some more self-control, and be able to get out of this bad debt, then you're going to be up and rolling. You're going to be moving forward. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter the decisions that you made, 2 months, a day ago, a year ago, 10 years ago. You can only make better decisions moving forward. So, I hope this video was very helpful for you all. Also, make sure that if you have any questions or concerns and you didn't feel comfortable, sharing it in the comment section on my YouTube, feel free to hit me up on any of my social media platforms at @J_GetRight, where I pretty much share some content, answer some questions, your questions on some of the issues and things that you have that hopefully I can solve, and can give you some tips and some pointers to help you actually grow. So if you have not hit that subscription button and you missed it on the first go round, make sure you smash it, click it, do whatever you need to do so that you know when I post. I try to post daily and give you guys some value each and every single day. My goal is to have roughly 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. Right now I don't even have 100 while I'm making this video, but in my mind, I hopefully am providing some value, as well as I am excited to be making an impact. And yes, your one subscription really, really, really does help. So thanks again for watching, and I'm gonna see you all in the next video. Peace. Ask yourself, are you really where you want to be?